All right, so here's the deal, folks. This isn't even on. I'm just holding it for effect. It's probably blocking my voice anyway. I didn't. I wanted to make a video today, and I didn't plan on it being this one, but I feel like it's something that needs to be discussed, or at least I'm gonna rant about it for a minute. For those who don't know, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley was suspended for the entire 2022 season due to him betting on football games. Okay? And I know I don't I briefly once in a while talk about sports here on the channel, and most of the time people don't care. Sometimes, well, actually, one of my more popular videos is a sports related video. But anyway, irregardless, I had to talk about it for a minute. I don't know who is gonna, really care about my opinion. But I tried to make a TikTok about it and post it out there to the ether, but I realized the stuff that I felt I wanted to say was longer than the 3 minute, allotted time. So here we go. First off, Calvin Ridley was out most of the 2021 season, if not all of it, at the very least most of it, because he was taking a break to focus on his mental health, which is great. We love to see it. It does bring up the question as to like gambling. Why were you doing that on your sabbatical? Because gambling is the most anxiety provoking and stressful thing that a person can do, at least in my opinion. So I don't know how that really helps your mental health, but to each their own. But the the point is, he was not playing. He wasn't around. He wasn't. If he was like betting on his own games, like if he was betting the under on his yards, or betting that the Falcons would lose or win and throwing a game like Adam Sandler's character in The Longest Yard, if he threw a game that way, that'd be one thing. But he wasn't even fucking playing. He wasn't even there. He wasn't around. He was just betting on NFL games. And now I get it. From the point of the NFL, you don't want to shit where you eat, right? You don't want to, bring a bunch of bullshit, to you don't want to like tarnish the image of the league. However, at the same turn of the coin, the NFL loves to fucking jerk the dick of FanDuel and Sportsbook and all those Caesar commercials, who I think those are kind of more targeted to basketball, but still, what in the hell does it matter that Calvin Ridley at home is betting on NFL games that he doesn't even have a part in? It's not even like it's a Falcons game and he's on the bench. He's not even playing the season. He took the time off and he's at home. How the hell does that matter? And it's so hypocritical of the NFL, because dudes with PEDs or dudes that get caught beating women are out for like 4 or 5 games. A PED suspension normally is like 4 or 5 games. That would have been more than enough for this betting thing. But the first thought, I saw a video that said, like, why isn't the suspension lowered? Or why is the suspension so high? Why are PED suspensions so small in comparison? And my theory is that because Calvin Ridley was out for a year, a lot of people kind of didn't really forget about him. He's a great receiver, but he's not like in the limelight. He's not actively making the NFL money. People that take PEDs, they make the NFL money for the most part because they're usually playing at a better level. They're making better plays. They're drawing in more viewers. And then that gives the false impression that they're a good player. And they very well might be a good player with or without the PEDs. But it comes back to the same scenario of, as long as you can throw a football well, as long as you can catch a football well, as long as you can run a football, as long as you can tackle well, nothing happens to you. And Calvin Ridley is a great receiver, but he hasn't been playing. I fully believe that if Calvin Ridley was currently playing right now at an elite level, this suspension would not be as high as it is. That might be a little tinfoil hatty, a little conspiracy riddled, but I firmly believe that if he was playing right now, this suspension would either not happen or would be greatly reduced. because you get guys that do far worse things, but because they're making the NFL money and because they're top tier players, they get to play their games. They get to only have a 4 or 5 game suspension. When in reality, PEDs are a much bigger have a much bigger effect on the outcome of the game than some dude on his couch betting on games he's not even a part of. This whole situation is completely ridiculous, and it shows how the NFL doesn't have its fucking shit straight. It'll throw a 5 game suspension at a dude who kicks a lady in the head. I don't actually know how many games Kareem Hunt got suspended, but he's still playing, so that's not a long enough suspension in my opinion. He should not be playing anymore. But okay, I won't bring up any specifics. We'll just go to the fact of PEDs. Somebody could juice up, ruin the integrity of the game, and get a 5 game suspension. Meanwhile, a dude is on his phone using an app that the NFL promotes very heavily. They have fucking on Sunday morning football at not morning, afternoon. It'll be 1 o'clock here in New York, and at fucking 12:30 they'll have Boomer and Terry and whoever being oh, the over under on the FanDuel, oh, FanDuel, who do you think is gonna throw the most yards, or what team is gonna blah 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 blah. They'll do that shit, and then a guy at home who just happens to be employed by the NFL pulls up whatever betting he wants to do and gets suspended for an entire year when he's already been out a year. So this man is going to be 2 years behind, and it's ridiculous. If this were and I don't mean to throw names, but if this were Patrick Mahomes, or just to compare to another wide receiver, if this were Cooper Kupp betting on games, this punishment would not be nearly as severe. I can tell you that right fucking now. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's just so astronomically stupid. I just can't fathom it. But what else did I want to say? It's completely backwards. It makes no sense. What else was I going to say? I think that was pretty much it. It's just so dumb. And also, if the games aren't rigged, and I'm a firm, I don't like to believe that games are rigged. I really don't. But if the games aren't rigged, why does it matter? If Calvin Ridley has the inside and knows what's gonna happen when it's gonna happen, and bets in that regard, then that's one thing. But if the games are random like they're supposed to be, what's the point? Why does it matter that a dude is betting on games? Michael Jordan was nefarious for betting. Maybe not on NBA games specifically, but with how big of a gambler he was, you can't tell me that he didn't at least once bet on an NBA game. Come on, you can't. You just can't. I don't have that information. I could be missing something, but come on. So but because it's Michael Jordan, nobody cares about that. They let him play all this time, as they should. Gambling is not even that big of a deal, at least in comparison to some of the other shit that athletes and other people get up to. This is just such a backwards example, and yet another example of a dude getting caught by the shield, trying to do something good to cover up for all their bullshit. The NFL has had a shit year with all of its scandals, with its coaches, all of its scandals with its players, the whole fucking Washington football team shit, the whole Raiders shit, all of this other bullshit, right? The NFL wants to be oh, we're doing something. See, guys? See? We got a guy. We actually did a thing. All these other guys that kicked ladies and beat women and are piece of shit people and took drugs, they're still here playing, but we got a guy who was gambling. So we're kind of even at this point. We're kind of good. We should be in your good graces now, I think. Us as the NFL. So, I don't know. This was just some stupid off the wall rant that I just had to go on. So, I apologize if it makes no sense. But I got to know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys care at all about my opinion on sports, because I'll make more sports videos. I enjoy yelling. I don't enjoy yelling, but I feel like it's therapeutic because I really don't get angry very often. But I feel like this lets out a lot of tension, a lot of steam. So let me know what you guys think and feel about this whole Calvin Ridley situation, because in my opinion, it's fucking bullshit. Um, but who knows? I could be missing something. It could have been super serious. But from the info that we have currently, it seems like the Shield is just doing some bullshit. So, yeah. So if you stuck around, thank you very much. I'll see you.